Many thanks for choosing us. Expectations of MPs have been dashed as Finance Minister, who was expected to appear before the House to outline austerity measures being taken by government to save the crippling economy, is not on today's other paper. Instead of going to Parliament, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, will address a press conference this afternoon outside Parliament. The minority caucus in Parliament are demanding answers from the majority leadership on why questions programmed for the finance minister has not found expression in today's other paper. The minister was expected to answer 12 questions on the economy from MPs in the chamber, but the questions have not been programmed in today's other paper. Deputy Minority Whip Ahmed Ibrahim incensed over the development.
You've been asked a question. You are now telling them, oh, you are now gathering information. What input or what thinking went into that program itself? And you call it a government flashy program that you have no facts to come and tell Parliament, and you are not gathering facts anyway.
I see. So as a member of the business committee and the leadership, how do you feel that even though you've asked him to appear before the House, he has not...
The president is supposed to appear on the 30th. Right. And I know the Minister for Finance, come what may, will appear before the 30th. Well, you know, don't forget, Parliament, as parliamentarians, we have much information that you can't just appear before us and tell us anything. You can say it somewhere, but when you appear before us, all the sector, people have hands and information, whatever is happening. So that explains why the minister is scared in appearing before us. But I can't what may, he must appear before us. He either appear before us or... But you remember we said we had a vote of censure against it. Right. It's still in the pipeline. We've not abandoned it. If it's conduct...
You're moving a vote of censure against the finance minister?
We signed that vote of censure long time, and that thing is there. So we are still programming it. So if it happens that you cannot just be running away from Parliament, you are not coming, all those kind of things. That is why we were triggering the COVID expenditures and all those things. You say, well, we should not investigate you. We should leave everything. You two come and you are not coming. So how will Ghanaians be able to get value for money? Then you tell them there's austerity. Austerity from where?
You are disappointed, clearly.
The excuse yesterday, day before yesterday, was free SHS. Then when the Ghanaians got to know that it was not a free SHS, then you say COVID. Then when Ghanaians say, let's investigate the COVID to see whether that's the problem, you say no. Then today you are saying Russia, Ukraine. Did we vote for Russia, Ukraine? We voted for Nanadu, and you are the finance minister. Let's internally see what we can do to solve our problem. We can't be churning out excuses upon excuses. So there are matters to be discussed. And the vote of censure, if the finance minister is not in charge, and the president, because he's his cousin, he cannot reshuffle him, nothing will prevent Parliament from carrying that one on.
So you're going to reshuffle him?
Now all our democratic and governance architecture at the grassroots is collapsed. For the whole of 2021, no release to the district assemblies. Beyond the release to the district assemblies, the health insurance from March 2021 to July 2021, our health insurance money was also not released. Our GET fund, you've mortgaged that one. School projects are abandoned. Capitation grant is not going. School feeding, nothing is happening. And you think we should be looking at the finance minister as a personality because he's the cousin of the president? No, something has to be done about it.
Ranking member on the Roads and Highways Committee, Kwame Agboja, is also angry over the issue. He says the minister do not have credible answers to the questions, and that's why he's evading them.
The questions we have on this floor would have elicited almost all the things he wanted to talk about today at the ministry. So he just doesn't respect Parliament, and it's on record. It's not. I'm not saying it.
So you are an MP. You are going into the chamber. I mean, Parliament is just about start Senate proceeding. What are you going to do?
We are going to make this raise this issue strongly during the presentation of the business statement today. In fact, even the majority would have to explain to us why those 12 questions vanished between yesterday and today on the order paper. Oh yes, we're going to demand. Whatever he's going to say today can't take precedence on what we have done, because some of these questions have been here for 6 months. I've been on in the system for 6 months.
Government has over the few days announced that it will pump an amount $2 billion into the economy to curb the continuous depreciation of the city. This forms part of measures by President Akufo-Addo to mitigate the hardships being experienced by the populace. Amidst the growing depreciation of the city and the recent increments in fuel prices and prices of general goods, the government held a crunch cabinet meeting to find solutions to the raging economic challenges. Now, in a Facebook post on Wednesday, the Jubilee House highlighted 4 measures government has approved during its cabinet meeting to cushion Ghanaians amidst the economic hardships. So why the change of plans regarding the nature and venue for the announcement? But we can even look at the 4 measures. You have it on your screen there. Cabinet agrees on border reopening within 2 weeks. Government cuts salaries of appointees by up to 30%. Policy rate increased substantially to 17%, cost of loans to go up, and government to pump $2 billion to rescue the city. So why the change of venue? Parker Wilson is our man in Parliament. Parker, why are the MPs angry over the minister not appearing before the House to make the presentation? We'll try and get Parker back on this line to have this critical conversation, because parliamentarians seem disappointed that the finance minister is no longer coming to Parliament, but rather will deliver a lecture. But as we wait for Parker to join us back, let's listen to economists who have been adding their voices to the conversation on austerity measures taken by government to rescue the economy.
One of the ways that a central bank can help salvage the situation was just to increase the monetary policy rate. Now, the increment in this monetary policy rate was meant to address 2 things. The first thing had to do with curbing inflation or trying to bring inflation down. And then the second thing had to do with addressing our depreciation of the cedi. Now, the fact that the monetary policy rate has gone up, we were going to be remaining competitive as a country, because, mind you, the US has also increased its rate, and then the UK has also increased its rate. And therefore, if we're supposed to be remaining competitive as a country, if we're going to be able to attract investors into our country, then there was the need for us to be able to get our interest rate up there, so that we can have investors investing in our domestic.
A quick question. Yes, I know you're talking about the comparative when it comes to economies and attracting foreign investment. But the point to be made is that the same economies you speak of, the United States and the UK, we can't compare to them on most levels. So, and we also know that in some instances, even almighty China sometimes would allow its own currency to depreciate. Sure. For certain good reasons. So in this instance, is this the right move, making the comparison? Is this the right move at this time just because economic juggernauts like the US and the UK are doing this?
Right, so you gave China as an example, and China is not as import dependent as we are. And so for China, which is an export driven country, if they were going to be allowing their currency to depreciate, then obviously that would benefit them, because their exports are going to get cheaper, and that would promote their exports. But if you look at Ghana, which is an import driven country, we cannot afford to behave like China. So you take so we're talking about the US and the UK, and their economies not being like ours. We do have our peculiar problems. We are more, like I said, we are more import dependent, and we cannot sit and allow our currency to depreciate.
We can go back to Parliament and speak with correspondent Parker Wilson, who has been there monitoring events for us. Parker, why is the minister not appearing before the House to make the presentation? Have you had any explanation for that?
Yes, Aisha, I can confirm to you that there is an official explanation or reasons as to why the Finance Minister, Kenneth Reka, will not be appearing before Parliament today.
To answer the 12 questions we discussed earlier this morning. Now, if you look at the order paper for today, today's order paper, it is clear that the finance minister won't be here. Now, the majority chief whip, Frank Anodompre, indicated to the House just about 5 minutes ago that the finance minister wrote to Parliament yesterday alerting the House of his inability to appear before them. The reason is simple, that he is still gathering data and information on some of the questions that have been asked by members of Parliament. He cannot walk into the chamber with half-baked answers, or answers that wouldn't be sufficient for the members of Parliament. So he wants to get into Parliament fully armed, have a better appreciation of the questions and answer them for the benefit of the members of Parliament who will be answering it. And it's the reason that he is not appearing before Parliament today. I must say that the minority chief whip, Muntaka Mubarak, who actually raised the matter on the floor of Parliament, is incensed over the conduct of the finance minister. He's not happy. He believes the finance minister is taking Parliament for granted, and actually prayed the first deputy speaker to ensure that the finance minister appears before them. But after a back and forth with him and his colleague on the majority side, in fact, Muntaka Mubarak indicated that some of the questions on the order paper date back as far back as 9-8 months. And so it cannot be true that the finance minister will be saying he is not gathering data and information to come and answer the questions on the floor of the House. So that has been his concern. But the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Usu, who is actually presiding this morning, indicated to the House that, or directed that the question, all the 12 questions for the finance minister, be reprogrammed for next week so that he appears before the House and answer the question. Katie Hammond just walked in. He's now going into the chamber. Honorable Katie, if I can engage you briefly on an information on the finance minister appearing before the House, because your colleagues on the other side say the finance minister is running away from accountability, is the reason he has failed to appear before the House. You are a member of the majority caucus, sir. The question is, 12 questions were programmed for the finance minister to answer today. He has evaded the question. He is absent. Your colleagues say he's running away from accountability. Your response, please.
That's how you ambush members of Parliament. I'm going through, you called me to come and answer questions on television.
Well, I just saw you, I mean, live on
TV. Live on TV, you call people to come and answer questions. That's how I do television interviews.
Well, he just walked away. Well, so that's Katie Hammond. But I must say that the majority says the finance minister will come back hopefully next week to answer the question. But Aisha, one more thing. The minority has been raising concerns about the president's failure to appear before the House to deliver the State of the Nation address. Today, we are learning that on the 30th of March, somewhere next week, the president himself, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will be in the chamber to deliver the State of the Nation to members of Parliament, and of course, we're all Ghanaians. So they should be ready and brace themselves up for the State of the Nation address that will be delivered by the president on the 30th of March this year.
What other business is happening in the chamber, Parker?
Well, so, right now, there is a motion motion 12 on the order paper, which talks about the adoption of a report by the Finance Committee for a waiver of import duty, import VAT get fund for about 7 million euros for the construction of some selected roads in Sekendi and Takrady. So there are roads that will be constructed in Sekendi and Takrady. There's a motion by the majority caucus that they should grant the contractor some import waiver so that they can get the materials in Ghana for the construction of the project. So that is the conversation currently going on in the chamber.
Waka Wilson is our man in Parliament. We're surely opened in Parliament. Our lens is widely opened. We'll bring you all the updates in Parliament as and when we get them. Do you really care which of the public toilets is safer to use? Soon the AMA hopes to make that easy to identify as it plans to audit and rate all public toilets in the city. This follows the passage of the Public Toilet Operated Manual and the successful training of its operators. According to the Director of the AMA Public Health Department, Florence Kuchi, the various facilities will be either given a red, yellow, or green sticker to indicate the level of hygiene. There's more in this report.
After 3 sessions, the AMA Public Health Department has completed a training course for public toilet operators and janitors within its municipality. The Assembly says starting April this year, it will begin to inspect and rate public toilet facilities to ensure they observe the highest health standards. Florence Kuchi is the Director of Public Health with the AMA.
That last year in April, Accra Metropolitan Assembly launched the first public toilet guide. Such a guide is not in the country. So after the launch, we went into the communities, we checked the public toilets, and we realized that there were nothing to write home about. They were very nasty, some you could not even enter. So we decided to organize training for these people. We think some don't know what they are supposed to do, others do, they know. And after the training, we are going to code or to rank these public toilets. We want to ensure that the public toilets in Accra Metropolitan Assembly are operating within the international standard operation limited. So we will be coding them, let me say, when we go for the hygiene auditing. If you pass through all the hygiene processes, we will give you a tag of green. When we also come and realize that you are also trying your best, but you are not yet there, we will give you a yellow tag. But those that are not doing anything at all will be given a red tag. And red tag means we will close down the public toilet and then take you to court.
The Assembly also hopes to phase out the use of newspapers as a substitute for toilet rolls at these public toilet facilities.
We are hoping to phase out all public pan latrines in the system. All public toilet facilities are using print materials as anal cleansing materials. All public toilets that are still are selling cigarettes at their various facilities for people to smoke while they are visiting the toilet. In fact, from here we are starting this inspection in second week, or let me say third week of April. Immediately after Easter, we are starting this hygiene auditing.
Which is Ghana, a hygiene and safety standards company, believes Ghana's public toilet system leaves much to be desired. Managing Director of the internationally certified company believes constant education will help fill the gap.
I think, if I want to be fair, most of the public toilet facilities are in deplorable states. They are so bad to the extent that it's also a source of infections for communities and the people who go there. So if we are rating it in terms of, let's say, standardization for hygiene and safety, when it comes to the facility, it is below average. The participants have acknowledged that indeed they need to improve how they are operating these facilities. So yes, we are in the right direction.
Meanwhile, some of the participants want more of such training to be organized.
AMA for exercise some money a boy and baby. A my who near see any niece.
Drene, no year pa was Yama be a yama ya be Chiramuchra bebrebe, Yama bebrebe was on a young for so. Oh, bad dear, dear, across the room to me. Oh, Chiramuchra and in a fadia. Our dream was so.
The training is very, very good for we the directors and the managers who have been here. But one thing is that, I would suggest to the WIT, they should collaborate with AMA and the sub-metro directors to come down to the vicinity. They said they have come and explain things, details to them. They send them use their mindset to maintain the place clean.
Michael Ashali's report for Joy News.
The Water Resources Commission has cautioned Ghanaians to test the quality of groundwater before use. According to the Commission, 41% of Ghanaians depend on groundwater for their water supply. Contamination of such water sources is, however, a concern. There's more in the following report.
Groundwater dependency is highest in northern Ghana due to low seasonal availability of surface water. The Water Resources Commission has noted groundwater is safe. However, illegal mining in some regions has contaminated surface water with chemicals. Consumers are therefore advised to frequently test the quality of drinking water to avoid poisoning. Abnadu Fieredu Breman is head of Pra Basin Water Resources Commission.
Groundwater is generally safe, but the activities around it affect the quality and the quantity. That is why we are urging us to always test the quality of the water to be sure whether the contamination is in that particular aquifer or not. So it depends on the quality. We need to test it to be sure whether it has been polluted or not. But just looking at water that is clear doesn't show that it's a good quality water.
Speaking at the 2022 World Water Day celebration at Obuasi in the Ashanti region, the Commission entreated Ghanaians to access support in checking for the quality of drinking water. The program was on the theme Groundwater, Making the Invisible Visible.
Surely there's recognized institutions that test quality of water. Ghana Water Company has a recognized lab that tests, Water Research Institute and other government certified labs test quality of water. So we need to patronize those areas.
Meanwhile, Nana Kwedu Kwache II, Akwemuhene of Fomena, has urged chiefs to desist from giving out lands to illegal miners. He has promised to clamp down on illegal miners destroying water bodies in his community.
What we Nananom have to do is that we make sure that we talk to our people, because the people belongs to us, and that we also give them the lands. So as saying that we are going to talk to our people and are going to encourage them that Galamsey is not the only solution.
Anita Sewajuge's report read to you.
Afraid of unfamiliar roads? Perfect your driving with the Road Hazard Alert Master app. As road accidents continue to claim many lives, it has become important for motorists to continue perfecting their crafts. Therefore, don't you think an app that can detect speed ramps even if there's no sign, and in addition suggests ways to perfect your driving behavior, can be a game changer? That's what Tech Device Hub Limited has done with the Road Hazard Alert Masterpiece, or the RAM app. On Tech Thursday, Love FM's Kwesi Deborah speaks with the KNUST graduates Stephen Frimpong and Jesse Enning.
The ramp app in full, Road Hazard Alert Masterpiece, is designed to ensure that the road is safe, because there is increasing rate of accidents and people are losing lives.
Currently, there is no system that knows exactly where the road signs have been plotted on the map. We checked Google Maps, Mapbox, they all don't have that functionality. So what we did was we created a system that helps us to manually plot our own coordinates into a database. Then we use that database to slow down. We check that database as the driver is moving on the road. Then we compare that database value to the position that the driver is at. Then if the driver is maybe 100 meters away from the road sign, we notify the driver with a voice notification.
How does this work? It has different ways of helping us. First of all, as a driver, one thing you need to know is you need to be perfecting your skills, because there are places you are lacking in. Secondly, even if you're a very good driver, when you are driving on an unfamiliar road, it's very risky. Therefore, what the ramp app does is it perfects your driving as well as making the road as familiar as it can for you. How does it do that? Whilst you are driving, the ramp app detects speed ramps, traffic signs, and all other alerts on the road. When you are driving on a road where the behavior of the people in that community is reckless driving, it lets you know if you should expect more motorbikes. It lets you know. With this, it helps you and makes the road as familiar for you as it can. That is how the ramp app is able to make the road familiar for you. In the other field, it is also designed to make you perfect your driving. You can see there is a zebra crossing ahead of us. So the ramp app is able to tell us that there is a zebra crossing ahead. So we have to slow down. Aside that, it also detects other critical stuffs on the road. If it's a speed ramp, if it's a traffic sign, or everything else, to ensure that the driver is very comfortable and knows the road he's driving on. How does it do that? Whilst you are driving, the ramp app is able to check your driving errors with your phone or our special camera. When you buy our dash cam, it does that as well as your phone. So with the ramp app, what it does is it uses your front and back camera to check your focus, your changing lanes, and all other driving skills. When there is a skill you are lacking, through artificial intelligence, it is able to detect that. And when it detects the places you are lacking, the ramp app, whilst you are home and you are relaxing, is able to tell you what to do to perfect your driving. Guess what? It doesn't just tell you what to do behind the wheel. For some people that lack focus, it will tell you the kind of foods to eat to improve and then give you strong focus so that you can be good at driving. With this, the ramp app puts all those stuff together to ensure that you are a very good driver and it prevents accidents.
One person is dead following a clash between two rival groups of small-scale miners. The incident took place at the Bonsa toll booth along the Takwa Road in the Western region. We've been joined on the phone by Takwa-based journalist Nanesi with more. Nanesi, what more can you tell us about this?
Okay, so what I can say is that as you indicated, one person is dead and then one other is in critical condition. And he's being referred to the Agua Teachers Hospital in Accra. What actually happened was that yesterday, these two gangs have a long-standing protected issue, and they've been at each other's throats for a while. And they've also threatened each other that they would have a fight that they meet. So they've not met for some time. So yesterday, just after the toll booth at Bonsa, these two gangs met, and then they were both in cars and they stopped, and then after they engaged in a free-for-all fight with machete, and the gang leader, who is allegedly to be on Cobbin's gang, shot the other, who is allegedly also believed to be with the Member of Parliament for Takwa, who is also the Deputy Minister for Mines and Natural Resources, Honorable George Mefudika's side. So the gang leader for Okobin shot at Mekudiko's gang leader, who is called Al-Hassan, popularly known as Allah. And then he didn't give up, even though he had been shot. He started fighting with a machete. So they both engaged in the machete fight, with the other gang leaders also part of it. So later, the other guy couldn't take it any longer, and then he fell. And police were just about some few meters before the barrel also came in, and then they were arrested. Some were arrested, and then those who had been injured were taken to the hospital. But Allah gave up the ghost before it was taken to the hospital. So for now, the police has also arrested 4 people, but others are also in critical condition at the Takwa Municipal Government Hospital.
Nanesi is with Takwa-based radio station with that update. We'll take a break for business. When we return, we'll bring you details of traders of essential commodities at the popular Techiman Central Market who are lamenting the soaring prices of food items. Stay tuned.
Hello, welcome to Business on Joy News today with me, Beverly Broom. Traders of essential commodities at the popular Techiman Central Market are lamenting the soaring prices of food items which have affected patronage. They say the recent hike in the pump prices of fuel is largely to be blamed, adding that the situation is affecting their economic activities. They want government to intervene to save the situation, which has left many in frustration. My colleague Anas Sabit was in the market to speak with some of them.
The recent hike in the prices of fuel commodities across the country has compounded to the hardship of many Ghanaians. Today, we are here at the Techiman Central Market, which is the largest food crop market in the West African South region. We are here to engage these traders here to find out from them how the situation is impacting on their sales here at the Techiman Central Market. Let's get interactive with these traders to have their take on the state of the increase in prices of goods.
The market is bad because every now and then there is increase in fuel prices, and this is causing the hike in the prices of goods. I sell pepper here and I travel to Paga for my goods. When I started, the fare per bag was 12 Ghana cedis. Last year, they charged us 25 Ghana cedis per bag, but today we pay 50 Ghana cedis per bag. So the hike in fuel prices is affecting the prices, and buyers here cannot afford it. They need the items but cannot buy due to the cost. A gallon of oil is 300 Ghana cedis. Tin tomatoes is 30 cedis today, and this is affecting our trading activities. We can't make profit, and even the money to give our children for school is a problem. So we are really suffering. These traders say the incessant hike in the prices of goods is adversely affecting their trades, as buyers no longer patronize them due to the exorbitant cost of commodities in the market. Buyers don't buy from us when the prices are high. They really want to buy, but because of the prices, they are unable to buy. So when we go for the goods, we run at loss at the end.
To most of the women we've been engaging, their simple plea to authorities is to ensure that mechanisms are put in place to bring down the cost of fuel prices, which according to them will also impact on transport fares.
Some financial institutions and cooperative credit unions have now started recovering after the financial sector cleanup and the COVID-19 pandemic. One of such institutions is the Agua Teachers Credit Union in Cape Coast. The cooperative credit union announced an appreciable net surplus of nearly 100,000 Ghana cedis after recording losses in 2 consecutive years. Here is Richard Kujonyakun's report from the union's 37th annual general meeting in Cape Coast.
The annual general meeting of the Agua Cooperative Credit Union is designed to make stewards of the union account for their stewardship to their members, fraternize with them, share ideas and receive feedbacks on the running of the union. At the 37th AGM, board chair of the credit union, Eunice Mary Abua, indicated that things have begun returning to normal after recording losses for 2 consecutive years.
Notwithstanding the numerous challenges we face as a society, I am happy to state that the leadership of our union has been able to manage the business of the society in a proficient, prudent and gainful manner during these hard times to serve members successfully.
A member of the board of directors of the credit union, Yao Ifa, who read the audit report, says the board of the credit union is exploring diverse options to rake in more revenue and to satisfy their members.
We made more investments. We have also increased our assets. The board plans to develop a package for welfare associations in its catchment area. The board, in collaboration with the Education Committee, has begun this already by meeting the welfare associations in all second cycle institutions in its catchment area, and we hope to continue with the basic schools. Moving forward, the board plans to increase mobile bankers and also help to reverse our grade from C to A.
Metropolitan Director of Education for Cape Coast, Dorcas Brenda Asari, also called on the union to explore innovative ways of getting funds and revenue.
To be sustainable and competitive in this era of financial challenges with high interest expectation from members, management of the credit union must be innovative and reflective in its operations in ensuring value creation for its members. Management also needs to organize and maintain an efficient system to enable members to deposit savings regularly.
Out of the total asset of over 7 million, the credit union has now made progress and now has an asset base of nearly 10 million. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejenyako, Cape Coast.
That's all for business, but we have more stories on myjoyonline.com/business. Up next is sports.
Let's do sports now on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, has responded to a claim by his colleague in Nigeria that the Super Eagles will beat the Black Stars blue-black. According to him, the comment from Sunday Diary does not represent his true emotions ahead of the contest, so he tickled himself to have a good laugh.
We have a very long history of relationship, a very good relationship between Ghana and Nigeria, and we are very when it comes to sports and other things like jollof rice and most things, we are rivalry. We share a very huge rivalry, but this rivalry have not spoiled the relationship between these two beautiful countries. So on Friday, all what our country have to do, we are ready to battle, and we are very, very sure that our boys, the caliber of players that we have called, the commitment that they have shown so far, the training, the technical team that we have, the management team that we have, there is no doubt that on Friday, our blasters, the blasters of the Republic, is going to shine and shine across the whole world. And we are going to defeat Nigeria both here in Kumasi and also in Abuja, far away in Nigeria. There's no doubt. We are prepared to beat Nigeria in this game, both here in Ghana and also in Nigeria. We have a track record when it comes to football between these two beautiful countries, and the history is going to repeat itself. As far as we know, Nigeria cannot compare themselves to Ghana as far as football is concerned. And my brother is just tickling himself just to make himself happy. And I know that if you look at his posture, even when I saw the video, if you look at his posture, you can see that he's under serious pressure and tension because he knows the country that he's coming to meet, and he knows what we can do. We can create surprises. It's a country that even when we use a club to represent our nation, Nigeria could not stand us.
Now let's hear from the Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, Mark Addo, who doubles as the Management Committee Chairman of the Black Stars. He says that the team has had enough preparations and is very confident that they will walk away with a victory when they come up against the Super Eagles on Friday.
I'm very confident. I'm very confident that, look, the team, this is like I said, this is where we have qualified in the past. This is where the spirit of the team is. This is where the nation all came together. This thing binds it all together. I remember, when we played against Egypt here, 2014, incredible feeling in Kumasi Sports Stadium, incredible feeling. And I think the same support, the same love that people have for the nation. Remember, the Black Stars is all we have. It's the only team we have. We don't have any other team. We good, bad, whether it's good or bad, it's all we have, and we have to stand behind the team. In this game, in the game in Abuja and beyond, because it's the one that brings us joy. You all remember the joy that you have. Everybody remembers where they were when we scored against the United States. And everybody, if you ask them where were you standing, they'll tell you exactly where they were standing that day when the goal came. So it's the same joy that we are all looking for. And it comes with preparation, it comes with nurturing, it comes with support, and we are asking everybody to come, we're asking the whole nation to stand behind the team so that we can deliver.
Now let's go on the floor of Parliament and hear from Deputy Majority Leader Afenyo Markin, who has called on the players to forget about their individual talent and play as a unit if they want to qualify for the World Cup.
Those 11 players who are going to be on the field should first forget about their individual skills and know that if they work as a team, it doesn't matter who scores. It is the name of Ghana. Sometimes we get disappointed when we see players holding on to the ball for such a long time.
And Joy Sports coverage of the Ghana versus Nigeria World Cup qualifier is brought to you by Qatar Airways. Going places together, KFC, it is finger licking good, Airtel, Tigo Sikakoko bundle, life is simple, and 10bet for the better. That's your sports for now, but we do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. Up next is World News.
And it's time for Showbiz. My name is KMJ. The conversation around celebrating of Ghana in the Ghana Month continues. Theresa Ayade, the Charter House CEO, has spoken about how people can individually, as Ghanaians, own our culture and also serve as custodians for it. Here's more on what Theresa has to say.
No one can be a custodian of a culture apart from yourself. So if you do not respect what you have and put value on what you have, you will not see the right, you will not see the need to perpetuate it. So I think it's the value that we place on our culture, the pride that we have about who we are as Ghanaians. I mean, you are a global citizen, you are part of the world at large. That's why we speak English, because we need to communicate with the world at large. But as Ghanaians, we have our own local languages as well, you know. So I think we haven't owned that aspect of ourselves as Ghanaians and worn it with pride. I mean, we see other African nations wear their culture with pride more than probably we do as Ghanaians. So we ourselves as Ghanaians need to be the first custodians of our culture, and it starts from the home. What do we understand about our culture, and how are we even bring up our children in our culture?
In a related story, Professor Kojo Gabwa has also spoken about how we can also, as a people, believe in our language and our tradition, and of course our religion as well. And she says that people who do not value their language, religion, are not going anywhere. Here is more on what he has to say on that.
But the situation is that we have been taken away from our language in the first place. Japan, China, and other societies are advancing faster than us because they have adhered to their language, they have adhered to their religion. And I should say that any country or any group of people that have lost their language and their religion find it difficult to move. We may say that English is global and we have to adopt it for the sake of our children finding jobs and so on and so forth. But it continuously places us in a situation where we don't have an identity. It does not really matter which language you want to grow up with. When you are born, your parents speak a language to you, or they have a language. Okay, you must understand that first. You must be able to express yourself in it. English, you will go to school, you will learn how to speak English. Okay, and there's evidence that those who speak their local languages first speak English or any other foreign language better. Okay, so you would say the Chinese speak Chinese, but they also speak English. Many of them are in the streets today pretending not to know how to speak English, but they speak impeccable English. In our case, we think that speaking English is akin to intelligence. So when our children are rattling English, then we presume that they are intelligent. Meanwhile, they know absolutely nothing.
And that will be all for Showbiz. My name is KMJ. For more news, log on to www.myjoyonline.com.
And that will be it for news today. My name is Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll get updates of all the developing stories. Enjoy the rest of our programs.